Hi everyone, this is Mrs. Babs. Today I welcome you specially to my channel. I'm going to be discussing something very different. Please stay tuned. Ta-da! So today I'm going to be discussing on my first accidental experience. Oh my goodness, it's so painful. No, it was so painful, but nevertheless I choose to share it today. Please follow me. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to be discussing on the first accident I had. Oh, was it the first? No, it was the second, because the first happened when I was so small. That was in my primary 3. That was actually where I got this mark that you can see. Can you see this mark? Can you see it? So the first one happened when I was still so very little, but this particular one happened just a few years ago. Good girl. Satan is a liar. Satan is a liar. So I'm going to be starting how it all happened. It happened in the year 2016. September 5th precisely. It was an unforgettable day of my life. So firstly, I want to tell you the reason for sharing this thing. I wasn't planning to share it at all, but it just dropped in my spirit to share it. And the motive is, whatever you are passing through in life, don't feel that that is the end of the world. Definitely Satan is going to throw a lot of things at us humans, especially we that are Christians, we that are instruments in the hand of God. He's definitely going to throw so many things at us, but what? Are we going to succumb? Definitely not. So we just have to fight on, because victory is assured. So on the 5th of September 2016, I went to market to buy some foodstuffs for myself. What was I doing there? I traveled for a missionary work. You know, I'm a Christian and I am into serving God and also into business. I sell things for a living and I'm also into serving God and into the women ministry. Why am I really shaky? Like, so that very day, I went to the market to get some foodstuffs for myself. I was in that state for a missionary work, and it was time for us to, be sent into states to do some missionary exploit and all that. That's by the way. So while coming back, I boarded a bike. The funny thing was that I was trying to manage the money with me. So I was looking out for a bike. When I say bike, I mean motorcycle. So I was looking out for the one that wasn't expensive. So I waited for some time looking for the one that was way cheaper. So when I got one, eventually he agreed the price I wanted, so I boarded it. So I was still carrying my foodstuffs at the back of the bike. If we are in Africa or Nigeria, when I talk about bike, it's an open, what do I say? It's not a tricycle, it's just 2 tires. It has 1 tire at the front, 1 tire at the back. Then the driver at the front, then whoever is the passenger at the back. So there is nothing holding both of us. We are just in the open, world or open atmosphere. So if anything throws at us, it gets to us. If one falls out, you completely fall out. There's nothing holding you. It's not like it recycle, like keke na pepe, that you say, okay, you are still going to fall on the bike, on the tricycle rather. But this one, the bike, you are completely falling out. So I was at the back of the bike and the man was driving. So we got to a place. I discovered that he was actually like as if he was drunk, but I wasn't sure because I didn't perceive such, except when at that point I perceived it. So it was just immediately, and that immediately something just struck in my heart. What if anything happens now? And I just finished with the thought. I said, God forbid nothing was going to happen. Immediately we entered into a ditch. It was a ditch at the center of the main road. So I don't know, maybe he didn't see the ditch or something. So when he actually saw it, it was already late. Let me say that, because he tried to, avoid it, but by that time he has already entered. So entering the ditch and coming out with force again, it was a hilly place. So that place was a bit hilly for bike. So instead of the bike now moving forward, the bike swerved. And at that point of swerving, my leg was already down. One leg was down on the ground, on the road, while the other was still hanging on the bike. It was a horrible experience. Everything happened in the twinkle of an eye. So while the thing swerved, I was not even knowing that my leg was already out. So it's obviously swerved with my leg on the road, making my knee joint to, how do I explain it? This is the joint. The thing swerved and it got broken inside. So completely my knee joint broke, but I still didn't know. So I sustained injury there at that surface of my knee. I sustained injury. He eventually came for us because we both fell off. At that point, after the swerving together, he didn't sustain injury. It was I at the back, because there was nothing holding me. He himself, being the rider, was holding on to the bike. So personally, I was holding on to nothing. So that was why immediately the bike entered into the ditch, one leg of mine fell off. So one part was on the road while the other was on the bike. So we both, the bike and my leg swapped, making me to sustain injury inside and outside. But at that point, I didn't know that there was injury inside. It was just the knee, as you can see, that was bleeding. It was seriously bleeding, and the wound covered the whole flesh. So help came, everything. It was horrible. My phone was intact. It was picked by the road and all that. So the people, the place where I was, they were called upon. They came and all that. So just to cut it short, I told us that I was focusing on the wound outside, not knowing there was actually wound inside. So my inability to walk after that day, even from that very day, I was taking it to be just the wound outside, including everybody. So when I got to the hospital, they told me I was going to be taking some medications and all that. That treatment was horrible. Like, they were pouring, was it iodine or spirit? They were pouring spirit. You can imagine pouring spirit on wound. It was horrible. I was screaming at the top of my voice like I've never experienced that kind of pain, to the point that the person holding me, I didn't know when I gave her a bite. The person was holding on to me so that the nurses could be able to dress the wound, and I gave her a bite. I didn't know. It was so horrible. So after some weeks, we were just focusing on that wound, thinking that was the reason why I couldn't work. After a while, someone just called me, one of the pastors there. He said, this thing, has gotten to this point of me needing 2 people to help me to walk, I should go to orthopedic, not just to treat the surface of the wound. Let's know what is actually wrong. Because at first I was needing someone's help by one side, not to be able to put so much weight on that particular leg. But later on, I discovered that the one person wasn't helping anymore. I needed 2 people to put my weight on so that the weight doesn't rest on this leg that was having injury. So that very day, I went to take my bath. The place we were taking bath was actually far, so I needed to still trek there, come back. It was raining, so I remember very well while trying to still get to the place where I was to stay from the bathroom, I had a clear sound, like from my knee. I just had Jesus, and it was like a dream. I was technically feeling my knee like this. This was how I was feeling it. I was not able to walk at all again, so they needed to carry me inside. It was just a little. So the bone inside hasn't removed completely, but it was just little thing that was holding the bone. Others were already separated. It was just remaining a little holding it. So to the point that I need to be holding it like this is it. So I need to hold my knee like this. I was practically doing that. I'm not exaggerating. I was holding my knee. I would join it together like this for me to be able to even move it. I can't even fathom how that thing happened till today. So when we even went to the hospital, I did x-ray. So they said, Madam, that this thing is completely bad. I'm going to undergo surgery immediately if they will be able to do anything to, make me walk again. Jesus, tears flew down my eyes. So the doctor said I was going to undergo operation. I was going to undergo surgery for me to be able to walk again. I'm going to be sharing that series in my next story. It's actually a story. Yeah, it's a true life story that happened to me personally. What's the reason? I'm going to draw out a message. Whatever you see yourself passing through, don't think that's the end of the world. Believe you are going to come out of it. Believe you are victorious. I used to tell myself, I am strong. I am blessed. I am smart. I can do anything. Yeah, I believe it. So please, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, do me well to subscribe. Hit the bell button to get notified when I post new videos. I'm going to be telling us, did I let her do surgery or not? How was I able to go about my accident? Please, thumbs up so that YouTube can recommend my video to other people. I'm still going to be bringing more teachings on marriage, relationship, and a whole lot. Till I come your way again, I am Mrs. Babs.